in Maine. One must die, chase the cat.
Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. It's pouring out. It sounds like it's stopped a little bit, but it's like some crazy weather all of a sudden. I don't like it. Yeah, really, 40 days and 40. It's going to feel like 40 days and 40 nights. I know that my house is probably in a little bit of turmoil because, you know, even though it's not, I don't hear thunder, they hear the rain and they kind of know. They know, you know what I mean? Like they kind of associate the rain with the thunder, and I don't know. I've seen how even little man doesn't like it, and little man, he's so cute. He's answering the little man. I mean, I don't know what else to do about that, but I mean, I'm sure I'll find like a real name for him, but he answers to it. So it's kind of just like when I had my cat and I was calling him Cat. And I ended up naming him Catnip so I could justify Cat. I mean, you know, hey, then I could still call him Cat and it was no harm, no foul. But yeah, little man's really cool. Dogs relax in stages. You know, they adjust in bits and pieces, some of them. And where he's been tripping over the backs of my feet as I walk, I mean, he like follows me, he stares at me, he's glued to me. A lot of the time, but like he'll go and lay down elsewhere and doesn't have to be like completely attached to me at the hip. But I've seen him start to play, which is really cute. He takes the biggest toy sometimes, you know, and he can't really find the squeaker, but he'll chew on it a little bit and, you know, lay down with it and just kind of like fuss with it a little bit. It's adorable. When you think just a couple weeks ago, Bella was running around squeaking a toy and he almost looked agitated by it. I don't know what his experience. I was like, oh God, you know, don't let it be like he gets like snarky about stuff like that. But, you know, if you give him a toy and you squeak it, he'll chew on it a little bit. And, you know, I think he's probably even older than they thought he was. I see a lot of age in day-to-day stuff, and I finally got like all up in his mouth this morning and he's missing quite a few teeth. Yeah, like, you know, the middle ones and stuff. So, you know, who knows what kind of life he had, but it's really nice just to see him settle in, you know. He wags his tail a lot when he looks at me, and he comes over for love, and when I come home he barks his little head off, and if he wants something sometimes he'll bark. So he's really cool. I really can't understand why he was out there in this big world all alone.
We got that combo cat that comes running around now.
Yeah, and now Speedo's got a cat that comes and he's taken care of. He's gonna take it in. I know he is. I'm not even worried about that. He's like smiling. I'm not even worried about that. He's like the cat whisperer in his neighborhood. Pretty soon you're going to be like a hoarder, and I'm going to have to do something about that. Yeah, well, you know, whatever. I mean, you know, their cats are small. They're not like, you know, horses and big dogs and mastiffs and things like that. Cats are little. Anyway, want to kind of start off the night with a happy birthday to a friend of mine who I was fortunate enough to meet through this whole big world of who knows who. Donna Biseglia, who I got to meet through Deb Young and Juno. Donna was on the show with Deb in December when we were talking about the Sweet Pea tragedy, and I know she is an avid watcher, and I appreciate that more than anyone will ever know. But a very happy birthday to you, my friend, and consider this, you know, we have like, there's a couple people on Facebook, you know, we comment, we reply with a heart, and then it's the next person with 2 hearts, and the next person with 3 hearts. So consider this a big old heart that you can't top. Happy birthday. Hope it was a good day and a good weekend for you. You deserve it. Okay. There's a lot of dogs I'm going to talk about tonight. I started talking about some of the Hartford dogs last week. They are the first batch, all but 2 are spoken for, safe, out of danger. 2 of them had expiration dates, shall we say, of Friday. However, because of the ACO's schedule, apparently, they were given the literal stay of execution until Monday. And I'm not banking on they're going to get anything more than Monday. And there's a few others that are urgent for the beginning of the week. People, you got to take this seriously. What's going on in Hartford now just isn't good. You know, there's the one ACO. The person is overextended. You can't take for granted that they're going to keep getting extensions. They really need people to step up for them. A couple of these dogs I have seen on the posts that, you know, people are interested and they're trying to get their appointments to meet the dogs and get them safe. But it's really no joke. Be persistent and don't give up until you know that they are safe, even if it's frustrating trying to get through the machinery of getting that appointment and getting to meet the dogs, because these dogs really have nothing right now. And they need us, they need you, they need their chance, they need their ticket out. So the first dog that I'm going to talk about is Ariana. Can we get her picture up? And she's a beauty. Look at her. She's about 2 years old. She's sweet. She's very scared. And she seems confused. You know, she really doesn't know how she ended up at this place, you know, with all these other barking dogs. And it's, you know, not what she's used to at all. She appears to have had puppies at some point. They say she's quiet and she's gentle and she just wants to be loved, like so many of the rest of us. And like all of these poor dogs that are stuck in pounds, they don't know what happened. They don't know why they're there. They don't have any idea, you know, what's happening. And I think some of them do know what is coming sometimes, but let's not make that a reality. The next dog up is Sheldon. I can't even stand how cute his face is. Look at that big, beautiful, pretty smile. I can't even. I love him. He's like, he's just great. He's got that happy face. You could tell he's a little tail wagging thing. You know, big old blockhead type. I just love his face and I love his smile. He's about a year old. They're saying he's about 50 pounds. He is a little scared, but he warms up quickly. He takes treats gently. And, you know, he's got his whole life ahead of him, and he'd love to be someone's best friend. You know, again, these dogs, they have no idea. And unfortunately, I don't see them getting past Monday. So these 2 especially need, Ariana and Sheldon, need their ticket out, and they need it desperately. They've been given all kinds of extensions, and, you know, it would really be a tragedy to lose them. The next up, they're calling this dog Shawn Mendes, and I can't even tell you I know who this dog was named after because I've never heard that name before. Anyway, Shawn is a male Chihuahua. He's about a year old. He rolls right over for belly rubs. He's got a great disposition. He loves to give kisses, and he just seems like the perfect little guy. I love his little face too. He is urgent for Tuesday, August 2nd. You know, at this point, there's no way to tell what's going to happen with extensions, but I know that the little dogs go quickly. So, you know, it's proof positive that not only aren't all pit bulls and big dogs in the pounds. There are some cute little guys that get in there as well, and they need homes just as desperately. And I will take this moment to bring up the fact that Chihuahuas and Pit Bulls are the two top breeds that are killed in shelters. So let's get these guys safe. The next dog we have is Miranda. Look at how beautiful she is. She's got the shiniest, most beautiful coat. She is urgent for Monday, August 1st. They're saying she's about a year old. She's very sweet. She's fun. She's playful. She's one of those wiggly butt happy girls. And she just really needs to get out of there too. You know, here we go with the statistics. You know, black dogs, brindle dogs, and we've got one of each here in this mix, are the most overlooked in the shelters. So don't let these two, Ariana and Miranda, be overlooked. You know, it's desperate, it's urgent, and this is the slowest time of year for adoptions, which makes this even more scary to watch unfold, when all you want to do is see these dogs are safe, and there's not the traffic out there to help, because people seem to disappear in the summertime, and I don't understand that. I never have, and I think I talked about that last week. Anyway, you can email ctshelterdogs@gmail.com, ctshelterdogs@gmail.com, and get an application and get that back right away if you're interested. You can scroll through these guys again, Zach. You do need an appointment. You can't just go down to the shelter and show up. So, you know, you've got to play the game and do the right thing, and don't ruin it for everybody else. As hard as it is to do, be persistent, be available. You know, if you're interested in one of these dogs, try and be available and work around the schedule that is presented to you. You know, it's a bad thing, you know, that you have to be at somebody's mercy or disposal, but let's just flip it around and think about how these dogs are at the mercy and disposal of, you know, what happens when they don't get adopted. So anyway, I will take the camera back for a hot second there, Zach. And, you know, there are a number of dogs in some of the Connecticut pounds right now that do have a rescue who'll pull them, but they need a place for them to go. You know, rescues can only do so much. You know, a lot of times it's, you know, why doesn't the rescue step in? Why doesn't somebody do something? Well, you know, gone are the days of a lot of rescues having a literal roof over their heads. You know, they work on the basis of having fosters as a place for their dogs to go. So they can want to pull all the dogs in the world, but unless there's a place to put them, they can't do it. And so that's where you come in. If you can foster a dog, you are truly saving a life, you're changing a life, you're changing the fate of a dog who would otherwise not make it out of the pound alive. So fostering, I can't say enough. You know, if you don't have a pet, and one of the reasons why you don't have a pet is because the long-term commitment, okay, you can foster, because you're only committed until that dog finds a home. Not to say it's going to be an overnight process, but it's not for the life of the pet. A lot of people don't have pets because it's an expense. It's not cheap to have a pet. Foster a dog, foster a cat through a rescue, and the rescue is on the hook for the medical bills and the food. You just add love. If you've got the space, I don't see why you wouldn't do it. You know, if you've just recently lost your pet, that's a horrible, horrible experience. Maybe you're not ready for that commitment of loving another dog as your own again. foster. Foster. It saves a life. Do it in memory of the pet you lost, because you know what? Your baby would not want you not to pay it forward. Your baby would not want another dog or another cat to lose its life because you shut down. Okay? I can speak from experience on all of this. But anyway, there's a few dogs that I'm going to go over that do have a rescue that will pull them and will back them if someone fosters. So first up we have Manny. Manny's been at the shelter for months. Poor Manny. He looks like a handsome guy. He was an owner surrender because his person became ill and could no longer care for him. Manny is gentle, he's laid back, and he does well with other dogs. They're saying he probably shouldn't do with cats. Some people have both, some people have just dogs. Sometimes a dog is just too interested in cats or has a high prey drive. I don't know what the situation is, but if you've got a dog that gets along with other dogs, here's a perfect chance. Manny does well with other dogs. He'd be an easy add to your family, and it would be saving a life. And it looks like he's got white spats on, doesn't he? He's cool. He's got those little socks going on. Anyway, yep, here we go again with, the black dogs and the brindle dogs that get overlooked. He's just been sitting there. Not cool. We got to get him out. We got to get him someplace to go and save his life. Next up is Luther. Luther was dumped from a moving car, and he's been sitting at the shelter for a long time. He's happy. He's energetic. He's a goofball. He needs an active family. He'd probably be a great running partner, a hiking partner, somebody who likes to keep busy, take the dog with you. He seems to be okay with other dogs. Again, they're saying no cats. And, there's any number of reasons why that could be, but, we'll take their word for it that they know best. Next up, we've got Lucky. Lucky's beautiful. She arrived at the shelter with her siblings, and she's the only survivor. The rest of them succumbed to parvo, which, it's amazing that a puppy can survive that. I don't think she even, they said something in the post about she was in a different kennel or whatever, so her exposure was probably a little different. But here she is, she's a survivor. The poor thing, they name her Lucky, and she's almost a year old and still in the shelter. So basically, she's grown up there, and she has a lot to learn about life. She's shy, and she hasn't had the benefit of being brought up in a home, so she'll need a home with patience. Every little thing is going to be brand new to her. She doesn't know how to be a dog. She doesn't know how to live in a home. She hasn't had the social experiences that a dog, her age should have had. So really, she's a blank slate in so many ways. Just needs like a patient person to guide her and show her life. It's really sad to think that there are so many puppies that grow up in a shelter, and actually, given her situation, she's lucky to be alive, but not the only puppy who's had that experience of growing up in the shelter. And honestly, at this point, she is fortunate because a lot of puppies don't make it out alive. Let's not let that happen to her. Next up, we've got Red. Red is a handsome hound mix. He's about 2 years old. They're saying he's calm, he's social, He's good with other dogs, and he's another one where no cats are preferred. But he's a very handsome dog. You can definitely see why they call him Red. And I'm not too partial to the color at all, am I? Anyway, next up we have Jake. Jake is a young adult. He still has puppy spunk. He walks on leash without pulling. He's very smart and he wants to please. He's good with other dogs. He'd probably be better with older kids because he does still jump when he gets excited. Again, no cats. And he's just a handsome boy. I love him too. Next up, we have Addison. And there's another one of those beautiful pity smiles. You're already smiling over there. Yeah, I'm telling you, Speedo's saying how he loves pit bulls. Addison's been bounced around a little bit, and she needs a soft place to land. She's happy, she's playful. She's kind of one of those in-your-face kind of girls who would be good as an only dog or with another dog who can handle that, a compatible energy level, compatible, comparable social skills. It's kind of like my Bella, who's a little terrorist, and she's all up in your face. Not every dog appreciates that. Not every dog can handle that. And so now you're talking, a big dog getting all in your face, and not every dog wants that. But anyway, she does need some stability and routine. I believe there's some training on her agenda. Again, because of her energy level, they're saying older kids and no cats. So scroll through all these guys again, Zach, this last block of dogs. Yep. And if you can help, I would urge you to email ASAP furryfriendsct@yahoo.com. That's FURRYFRIENDSCT@yahoo.com. Any one of these dogs in the mix here, whether they're Hartford dogs who are super urgent, whether they're these dogs that Furry Friends is offering to pull, their lives are so worth saving. It's one of those deals, those commercials, all you'll feel is good. You're a stepping stone to helping these dogs on to the life that they deserve. And without foster homes, I can't say it enough, it doesn't happen. And this block of dogs, they're all in danger too. They've been sitting for a long time in a situation that it's not going to end well. And with the exception, Addison is in a foster home now, but that's kind of come to the end of its road. So she does need a new place to go. Anyway, I will take the camera back when you're through with this block. There's my Addison. She's got such a beautiful face. Addison and Sheldon, my two favorites out of that bunch. I'm a fool for the pity smile. I can't help myself. Anyway, before I came down to the studio tonight, I put it out there on Facebook. This afternoon, I put my website to live, and it's a daunting thing. It's a little nerve-wracking. I don't know where this is going to go. As I've discussed, Examiner.com shut its virtual doors on July 1st. So Waterbury Animal Welfare Examiner is a thing of the past. Something I enjoyed for 5.5 years. And, unexpectedly, all of us got the rug pulled out from under us. So I'm pleased to announce the creation of Posse Press, which will be as much a partner kind of thing as the Examiner gig was, but even more so because it shares the name. I think it'll be a little easier to marry the two of them. somebody mentioned that they were always confused by the examiner.com part of it. So, you know, it's gone. It's the dawn of a new day. PoundPossePress.com is the website. By all means, please feel free to go check it out. I have a starter welcome piece posted, and you know, now that I have it up there, I got to jump in with both feet and do my writing. And there's plenty of dogs out there who need the help. There is a Pound Posse Pets page on that website that has bios of adoptable pets. And for now, until some of them are home and we're working on the list, I do have my birthday dogs up there, the balance of them. And, you know, go on the website, check it out. You could subscribe to the email list. There's a contact me form. You know, it's just right now very basic and very startup. It was good enough to make it go live. So hopefully you guys will all check it out, share whatever's there, share the website, support me. I appreciate it. You know, I'm going to just keep trying to do what I've been doing all these past 5.5 years with my column and 4.5 years of the show, and just in a different venue. So anyway, I would say we're probably just about out of time. What do we got? All right, roll through those dogs again. You can roll through all of them. We've got the Urgents in Hartford. There's the babies. They are urgent. There's the dogs that furry friends will pull if someone will sponsor, or foster rather. All of these beautiful babies whose lives depend on you and having a place to go. I can't stress it enough. You know, please, if you're at all interested, do the right thing and save a life. I will take the camera back. And it's time to wrap it up. And I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.